Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's show. It is the Divine Feminine Rebirth show, of course, and I'm here with my soul sisters. I'm Julie from Maison Gifta, and I'm here with two goddesses that I love very much. Let's start with Sophie. How are you doing? Welcome to the show, Sophie.
Hi, I'm doing very good, and you?
Doing great. Thank you so much. All three of us, I think, got back from recent traveling, and it is the theme of the show tonight, travel and relocation. It's going to be a very exciting show. Very excited. Hello to everybody watching. Very excited to see all of your names and see all of your comments in the chat. And we're going to talk about, I saw a comment later on, we're going to talk about astrocartography later on the show, and we're going to give some personal details also about our recent travel, so stay tuned. Hi, Elena. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Julie. Hi, Sophie. Hello, everybody. I'm doing well. Very happy to be here. I feel like we're coming back. I felt like I was there last week with Soul, but I felt like I needed to disconnect a bit. But now I'm ready. I'm back. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to feel the energy, positive energy, and also here it's starting to be so beautiful as well with nature and the sun. So that's helping a lot.
And I just want to show you on the big screen because you look so refreshed and rejuvenated and beautiful. So I want to show everybody your beautiful, radiant energy.
Thank you so much. The sleeping has not been very well, but I'm working on it.
Well, it doesn't show. And Tennyson, your hair is extra special today, Elena. Hi, everybody. Very glad to be with all of you. And yeah, hopefully we're bringing some high frequencies, refreshed energies from DR because we have been traveling. We have been filming a little surprise, which we're going to talk about tonight. Very excited for us to share that with all of you. And before we dive into today's show, which is all about traveling, relocating, of course, it is in sync with the astrology because we just had Jupiter move into a new sign for the next year, into Gemini, and both of the signs talk about traveling. So I'm guessing from now on, for the next year, we're going to see a lot of people either moving, traveling, going on road trips. So there's going to be lots of activity, lots of movement. So I think it's really up in the air. Like this theme is coming very strongly. And I want to ask you, Sophie, have you seen this topic come into your consultations recently?
Not that much. It's surprising. Not a lot in consultation, but it's always the case at that time of year we're wondering, am I moving? Am I relocating? But with the pandemic, I would say it's a topic that has been almost always present, but not more right now than usual. I'm assuming it's going to change. And here in the northern atmosphere, it's the summer, so people want to travel. But I'm surprised it's not a topic that is currently more in the consultation.
Maybe it's coming in the coming days, weeks, and months. So we'll see, because of course Jupiter just moved in. It is at 0 degree right now of Gemini. So we still have a whole year of this influence. And of course, there's other themes. We talked about it more in detail if you're interested in one of our recent shows. I'm just going to find it for you guys. So it was Every time I want to look at it, I'm looking for a show. I don't find it. Here we are. So it is the Jupiter and Gemini predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. So if you haven't watched, this one is a must see because we talk about really specific predictions for all the 12 zodiac signs, and Soul was channeling a lot of really interesting information. And while we're here on the Maison Gifta YouTube channel, we just filmed this one. This is the Astro and Tarot predictions for the month of June. Very exciting show. So Sophie and I had a lot of fun yesterday filming this. And of course, we talk about the collective energies in the first part, and then we dive into more specific predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. So go and check this out if you haven't already. And of course, if you're on there, please also don't forget to show some love and give us a like if you do enjoy this type of content, and also subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss anything. And yes, we just added this one, which is going to be a very special show this Friday, going live at 6 p.m. Eastern with all the crew, and hopefully all of you also present. We're going to be doing a special announcement for the community, and also, of course, we're going to be chatting with all of you with the live chat. So very excited to connect with all of you. This is Friday, 6 p.m. So this is a rendezvous. And of course, we are also simulcasting on our new Rumble channel. So if you are watching from there, please also subscribe and give us a like if you do enjoy the content over there. All right. So, yeah.
And
We had a lot of fun with with I wanted to show this one. We had a lot of fun with rocking the boat. So if you want to know what we're talking about, go check the June prediction. It's a really fun one. And yes, Corbin Lee is saying, looking forward to Friday's announcement. Yeah. So it is an answer to a lot of emails and comments that I received as far as suggestions for the Maison Jupiter team. So I listened to what you guys had to say, and very excited to share that announcement with you on Friday. All right, where do we begin? So, Sophie, do you want to share some details about your recent road trip? And also, I believe you're going to be doing another one very soon. Do you want to share some details about that?
Yeah, it's really weird because yesterday you were talking about what is coming in the astrology, about this huge influence of Gemini, travel, learning, youthful also energy, and a lot more communication. And I'm not the astrologer, so I don't look a lot into the astrology until my beautiful sister is talking about this. So yesterday I was really amazed to see I'm actually in that energy that is right now, the astrology. I'm in that energy. So last week I went for my first retreat of the year. I had the huge pleasure of going to the States in a retreat center, and I learned about tapping, I learned about Tai Chi, I learned about breath work, and I shared that in my weekly video. Also some exercise about breath work that I have learned. I learned astrology even more in that retreat, and tons of other stuff. It's really important to continue to learn in those things, and it's recharging also to learn new techniques, new people that are with new people. I mean, different approach to topics. So I have learned about astrology another way. I have learned about Tai Chi another way. So that's always amazing to learn from different people. And yes, I'm going back next week because I'm continuing to learn about mediumship. I learned because in the past, it came naturally when I was trying to do the cards. I had messages from the other side, but I want to learn even more. So I'm continuing the learning with a full week course with mediumship teacher, mentor.
Awesome. And Jake Ray saying, yes, love the breathwork activity, Sophie. I've been utilizing it this week. Awesome. And you know what's really interesting about everything you said in a really short period of time really is correlating with the Gemini archetype. And even breath work is breath is ruled by Gemini, by Mercury. Gemini rules the lungs. So breath work is really, really Geminian in nature. So I think it is a really great way to channel this archetype in the highest frequency possible. Because if we don't, let's say, channel it correctly, Gemini can be scatterbrained. It can be also having anxiety because your brain goes really fast, overthinking, not being, let's say, present in the body. So also tapping is great for that because you're going back to the body. You're not just like overthinking in your head. So, and also road trip is Gemini, learning is Gemini. So this is great. And when you talked about learning different things, many different things, that it's also very Geminian in nature. And for the next year, with Jupiter and Gemini, we're going to be called to all be students again, and to learn a bunch of different things and to really widen our horizon without any judgment and welcoming different point of views and different teachings. So very excited about that. Thank you, Sophie, for sharing. And hi, Coco. She's saying, bravo, Sophie. Nice to see you. Yeah, so awesome. And Elena, you've been traveling as well, n'est-ce pas?
Yes, it was a short trip. The only thing I felt that the energy of the Taurus energy, we've been talking a lot, like enjoying beauty, taking care of ourselves. So that's the reason why I felt like it was the moment to do it with that energy as well before to start into the Gemini energy. So it was like a very good timing. And I don't want to say too much because then later we're going to talk a more deep insight in this beautiful surprise that we have for you. But I felt like I needed to be like more grounded. At one point, I felt like my energy um I felt like I was so unbalanced. So to go there at that moment with the energy was the best timing. And I remember that's what I said last week when I was in the plane. I just closed my eyes and I said, okay, I'm grounding myself. I just felt like the root chakra needed to be connected in there.
And it's interesting you say that because I feel like even more so during Gemini season, I feel like we have to be more grounded because like the brain is going 1,000 miles an hour. And sometimes it's easy to get caught up into overthinking and not being, let's say, connected with the breath, with the body. So I feel like this is probably why you felt like this really strong guidance to be more grounded. And I felt that as well. I was trying to walk barefoot as much as I could there. And I like usually walking along the beach barefoot because I feel like connecting with the sand. So you connect with the earth, also the water and the wind. So I feel like it's a really multi-elemental experience. And I feel like it's grounding me a lot.
Right. And also remember when I was there for like a very short period of time, but the weather was beautiful. And then you said when I left, it started to rain.
Yeah.
So the timing was so perfect at that moment. And I felt like everything was so slow, and to be able to be more grounded, was not able to see, like, let's say people. It was just like me and you working on this beautiful project, connecting with nature. Everything was like very slow, and it's like the energies was like telling us, okay, you need to ground yourself and take your time.
Yeah, and it's crazy because we have friends over there and everybody was like super excited that Elena was coming and they were like, okay, let's do this and that. And finally, nothing really made sense. Like it felt like you were just here to do the project that we had to do. And then the universe was like, nope, she needs to concentrate on this. And then and so the sun came with Elena, and then the sun left when Elena was back. It was pouring rain for like 3-4 days before and 3-4 days after. So like,
yeah, I didn't see any rain.
window of opportunity to do what we had to do when Elena.
Yeah, and I want to say also, because we're talking about traveling and everything, I know sometimes it's hard to find like very good deals and stuff like that. And for me, at that moment, the price was very, very good as well, because we know that we work a lot like for our money. It's an investment. So I'm sure, like, I feel like the energy, maybe people are having trouble to find good prices, where to go. So maybe if you're planning to travel, take the time to really save the money, because there are flights very cheap and very affordable. That's why I took it right there, because it was a very, very good deal.
Yeah, definitely. Good point there. And also, like, we're talking about traveling, and maybe before going to the next segment, Sophia, I want to ask you questions if you're okay, of course.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I want to know if the cards, what do the cards have to say about this guidance that we're feeling? A lot of us are feeling like we need to be in specific locations to be activated. What's the message and why are we being guided to specific locations right now?
It's the first time that I cheat about this, and I looked before because I knew you were going to ask me something. I was too curious. This is a Gemini curiosity. So I cheated and I looked before, but I'm going to ask the card. And if this message, this angle is not showing up, I will talk about what I saw. It's the same card. It's the same card. So we have strength. And I took other cards earlier as well as the same card. I cannot believe that. So the message there is that we feel guided to relocate. We feel guided to be in certain places or literally relocate for some people. Why? It's because we need to be stronger with our tribe. We need to find our tribe, not just it's okay if you're not finding your group of friends in your new location or the place you travel to. What I mean by that is that the vibration of the place, the people around that have this vibration, you're going to feel it's aligning with you. You're going to feel stronger in your gift, in your mission, in your energy overall, just because it's going to activate what needs to be activated because you're at the right place, right time. So traveling can activate things from past life, from your current life, from tribes, but you can also activate even more if you spend more time where you're supposed to be. So the best is relocating, but if it's not possible, just traveling there the most often as possible. Let's hope it's not far away, and just activate and recharge your battery out of this energy to be stronger in your mission.
I love that because I resonate with what Lorianne is saying too. I need to protect, shield, and do more grounding because I feel collective energies intensely. So it might be also a response why everything in the collective feels so intense right now. There's a lot of, let's say, shadows coming out as much as there's light, but also there's shadows because light is being shone on the earth. So as well, it's lighting up the shadows. So as it gets more and more intense, I feel like it might be why we need this recharging of our battery even more. And sometimes we cannot feel like fully recharged where we are. So we need those specific frequencies, if that makes sense, Sophie. For let's say pursuing our mission even more. So, and talking about go ahead, Elena, you want to?
I have a feeling when I was traveling that I was not traveling alone. I really felt like the community was traveling with us. So that's something that I felt really, really strong. So the energy, like not everybody has the opportunity to travel, but I really felt like we were traveling all together. And I know like sometimes people can have guilt because let's say they say I'm not going to travel because like for me, for example, I have kids, but the energy to be like more grounded, it is more important because then after you come back so recharged. So it is important to do it as well.
Yeah, definitely. And what is really interesting is that while I was over there, a really special event occurred right here in North America, to be more exact. Well, I think it's specific locations in North America, but definitely in Montreal. Just because I left, there was like a really unique event. Northern Lights were visible. So I saw a few pictures, and I want to share, if you don't mind, Sophie, the pictures that you sent me that you took from your phone, I'm guessing.
It's from my town, but it's not me personally. I took it.
Okay, but definitely it's from your location. So. Yeah. I've never seen that before in my entire life. So I feel like it's a very special event. And let us know in the chat if you've seen the Northern Light as well. I've seen a couple people that I know on Instagram share a couple of their photos. So I'm just going to share that. And it's not any like professional photography, right, Sophie? It's just like...
it's not... I have to say, if you never saw that kind of light, I only saw it in pictures before. And when you see it in front of you, it's weird because you see it more clearly when it's a picture than what you really see with your eyes. So in the sky, you're able to say, okay, there's something there, yes, and this is a northern light, absolutely, but it doesn't look as bright as this when you're not looking through the picture.
Awesome. And Larry says we had the same in Alberta. And I saw a couple different locations also in the United States who were seeing those as well. So I'm just going to share a couple of pictures. So it went from like green, bluish to purple, pink, really beautiful shades of like the rainbow. And it looks very, very magical and very special. And definitely not something that we're used to seeing up there. It's more something usually more up north, if I'm not mistaken. This is really beautiful, more on the reddish, pinkish side of the scale. Here, a very deep purple. So as you can see, it's not professional photography, but it's just to show you the frequencies and the colors. And this one too, a mix of green and pink. Another one, and here. So really, really beautiful. And I felt it was really special. And I'm going to ask a question for the cards. I just saw here, we have much northern light here in Norway. You guys are so lucky. But it was definitely something that I've never seen in my entire life in Montreal or where we are. So, Sophie, can we ask the cards, what was this about? Like on, let's say, an evolutionary way of thinking, like what is going on for us to be able to see it where we are? Like what changed for us to be able to see that?
And I think that was visible for almost all the world at that time. So for those 3 days, I think almost all the world had those things, because I saw everywhere on internet the next day. But
well, not in Dominican Republic.
Interesting.
No, I was sad. I was like, I missed that.
Let's see. Interesting. So we have this card of deliberation, and let's see the rest of the cards. We have the Wheel of Fortune with the 10 of Pentacles and the King of Swords. So definitely this is a sign of the good is winning. This is a big sign in the sky of victory is coming, the good is winning. And that's not my kind of message. I don't sugarcoat anything. So if I'm saying this, it's because I really see it in the cards. It's really positive, and it's really that kind of message that is sent through the world to not just to change vibration. It's really a symbol of winning. It's really a symbol of something is changing for good and in the right path. Not to say that we don't have to do our work and continue to do what needs to be done. We don't wait for anything external, but it's a sign of something really positive is shifting, and the good is winning.
Wow, I love that. And I also love what Jake is saying. Can we ask the cards if it's linked to the solar flares? Is it something that is linked with the new light codes coming in?
I think so. It's the card of freedom that shows up. So I think so. It's this guy is looking at the sky. So very interesting, because it's almost like all of those events are linked somehow to push and maybe align us to not lose hope and not lose our goal.
Wow, I absolutely love that. I think it's a very powerful message. Thank you, Sophie, for that. Wow, so let me know in the chat if you've been able to see where you are, and let me know where you are as well in the comments or in the chat. I want to know. And yes, Jody is saying our work is being rewarded. Congrats. So it's a really good sign that we're on the right path, and that things are moving and changing very positively, even though sometimes with the events in the world, it's not really easy to see. I feel like it's a really good sign from the universe that things are changing very positively, and the frequency is as well. All right, so now let's talk about astrocartography. So I'm very excited to share that with you. Should we share our pictures from DR before or after? Maybe before. And then, okay, because I'm having too many pictures tonight, so I have 2 slide decks. Let me share my second one, and then we'll step into astrocartography. So this is a view from the plane. When I was arriving there, I thought it was like a beautiful shades of green, blue. It made me think of like the abundance. And it's the next day we filmed we did the Receiving Abundance live activation on May 7th, and that was the next day. So I felt like
Right.
abundant energy very strongly with the heart chakra, the green, when I was going there. And I always love to take pictures of the sky while I'm on the plane if I can. I think it's always like very magical to be moving in the sky. And then I have a few of those to share with you. So that was Elena and I on the beach, just enjoying our time there. We don't have many pictures, so I'm just sharing like the very few that we have. And I thought like that was a nice shot when I saw her sitting there on the stove. So we were preparing to go dancing, and I thought like that was like a really good muse photo. So
Beautiful.
you're my muse. And I have some. So this is what I was doing mainly. So I'm gonna share that with you. I don't know if you can hear the music.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
So that was it. My day where I had the most like hair and makeup done, but it's just to show you what we're doing. So yeah, I was taking private classes of salsa because over there they dance a lot of salsa, bachata as well. So if you want to see another one, so this is I was dancing with our friend Carlito. He's a professional dancer.
and a Scorpio.
So that's a fun one. So yeah, a little bit sharing of the joy of the dance. Thank you.
But it's good you had time to do that because remember last time you were very sick.
Yeah. So true, so true. Like I wasn't able to enjoy as much. And this time I got back into how do we say that? Activating my Leo rising energy, activating the joy, the abundance. And for me, abundance is also like abundance of joy, of dancing. So I was really feeling that. And this is a beach that we felt was really magical. And this is where we decided to shoot our activation, our project, which I'm going to share in just a little bit. And yes, okay, so let me start by talking about astrocartography. And yes, I want to share a couple of comments. Dancing food for the soul. Yes, that will open up your chakras, definitely. And I felt like my sacral chakra needed to move. So
I have a question for you. Like some people they say, oh, because let's say people are dancing. I'm like you, I feel like we're connecting with the chakra, the sacral. But other people will say you're kind of not looking around or moving to not see what's around. So I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
what do you mean? I'm not sure I
Like,
understand.
say people are trying to avoid the energies if they're like moving. That's sometimes that's what I hear. Like, oh, let's say that those people they dance instead of like connecting with their self. When we are dancing, we're actually connecting with ourselves. But let's say if we are dancing, some people will say, oh, this person is dancing and not really connecting with like our, like, let's say my body. But I feel like it's the opposite. So what do you think the energy of the person will be if the person it's looking at you and it's like, oh, that person is avoiding to connect with herself. Is Do you think it has something to do related the something that the person needs to clear, or
Like, let's say someone is not comfortable expressing themselves in that way, like dancing. Is that what you mean?
yes, but I mean, let's say the person is looking at you, and instead of like, okay, instead of saying, oh, well, that person, the way she's dancing, she's so beautiful, I can see that you're connecting with your energy, with your sacral, with your feminine energy, but other people,
Or more in the judging sphere? Is that what you were going to say?
yes, but they're gonna say like that person is not really working on connecting with herself because she's moving too much and not grounding herself. But I have a feeling, but it's the opposite. I don't know if you know what I mean?
But, well, I've never heard that before, but yeah, I feel like it's the opposite too, because I feel like if you're dancing, if you're really doing it for you because you're feeling it, and you're in harmony with yourself, and if you feel like you're smiling and you're in the joy frequency and the love frequency, I feel like you're connecting even more than, for me, I'm going to talk for me. Sometimes if I'm trying to meditate, I will be connecting even more if I'm in the joy frequency, because I feel like it's a natural way to engage not only my third eye chakra and my crown chakra, but like my whole body, my whole chakra system gets activated. So I feel for me, it's a way to be, let's say, embody spirituality, but in the 3D, in while we're in action. So it's a bit like yoga, because yoga is a physical practice of a spiritual physical practice. I feel like dancing is the same, but of course there's layers to it, because I've read a lot of book about spirituality who are talking about like how dance is such a good practice for spirituality, and they say like, oh, you should do ballet. But for me, I did ballet growing up a lot, and I don't think that's like the right format if you're trying to feel free. Ballet is very constricting. Ballet is very hard on. It's very. It's a lot of discipline. So it's like a Saturnian type of dancing, if you will. So I think like there's many layers to dance, and you can also, I see sometimes professional dancers competing and trying to impress, let's say, judges or the choreographer. So they're putting on like a performance, but not to feel good for themselves. So the intention also, I feel like, can be very different. If you're going to dance because you want to impress someone else, or if you're going to dance because you want to feel in touch with your inner goddess, it's very different.
Yeah, that's the feeling I have. You're absolutely right. And also, I feel like when you're dancing with somebody else as well, it's helping you with the trust as well. Because when you're dancing with another person, yes, you're moving, but you need to be connected with that person. Because once you're not connected with the music, you're not connected with the person, you can feel that the energy, it's not flowing together as well. So that's another work that we're doing when we're doing that type of the dance as well.
Definitely. And I have to say, like, my first big learning lesson when I first got to DR the first time, and I learned about like partnership dancing, well, in partnerships, was to balance my feminine and masculine, because I was so much in my masculine energy all the time with like working and being like working in a man's world in the sports industry. So when I got there, like, I learned how to dance with someone, and for me it was like not natural at all. And my teacher back then was like, you need to let me lead, you need to trust me. And that was like a huge learning experience for me, and to learn how to be in my feminine and to trust the guidance of someone else, of a divine masculine. Huge healing experience. So I definitely recommend this experience to everybody who wants to balance their divine feminine, divine masculine within themselves. I think like it's such a huge learning experience.
To let yourself be lead in that dance as well. Yes, you're dancing, but somebody else is leading, so that's another experience as well. Because I mean, you could be a leader, you can be a woman, but also dance as a leader as well. So doesn't matter. Let's say if you are two women dancing together, while connect with the masculine energy and feminine energy. If you feel like you need to balance both, you should try both sides.
Definitely. And I think like a lot of people underestimate how much respect is needed to be able to dance with one another, because the language is dance. So both of you, even though you might not speak the same language, you know the language is dance. So you will connect through music with the same language, dance. And like there's a huge respect, because you know that someone is going to guide you, or vice versa, you're going to guide someone. But there's a huge respect in like understanding the person's limits, the person's response to music. So there's a huge respect, I think, in social dancing, which I really love. I think like it's really learning how to connect with another, and more profoundly learning how to connect with yourself through another. So yeah, and Jake is saying love that it's beyond gender. Definitely, because like all the really good dancers can lead and follow. So they are really balanced between within their divine masculine and divine feminine.
I love to lead. I really love to lead. I feel like it's a great energy as well. And exactly, the gender, it doesn't matter. I feel like it's just amazing to be able to feel both energies.
Definitely. And I want to put a comment on the screen, Coco, saying so many old tribes use dancing to connect with Mother Nature. So I think it's a beautiful comment. And dancing, yes, it brings a lot of fun. It connects you with your inner child, but it's a healing practice. So it was used to connect with Mother Nature. It was used, and it is used as a ritual practice as well. So there's so many uses to that. And
You're traveling. Talking about travel, we're traveling as well when we're dancing.
Yeah, definitely. And I travel to learn how to dance a specific type of dance, which is Latin dancing. So thank you everybody for that. And yes, Jenny, hi, nice to see you. She's saying dancing is one of my favorite things and ways to express myself. And yes, very Leo of you, Jenny. And I've looked at a lot of charts from my friends who are dancers, and there's almost always the Leo placement, an important Leo placement in those charts. So awesome. And I think I will do another show on more on dance, because it is something that is so interesting.
And I just want to say, like, some people, if you're, let's say, shy to dance, just looking at the person dance, you can feel the energy as well. So that's another trick you can do. Maybe you're not ready to dance and feel it inside your body, but just looking at someone dancing, it's an energy that you're receiving as well.
Definitely. And you know what's funny today? I pulled an oracle card, and I don't always do that for the week. And I got this one, Dance with Life.
Wow.
And it says, do something to change your energy. So I feel like it's a collective message for all of us. When we feel like we're getting stuck in a specific energy, just getting back in touch with movement, with dancing, with having fun, listening to a song that you like, and just dancing in front of the mirror. As silly as it may seem, it is a profoundly healing practice. So collective message for all of us today. Okay, I want to move into astrocartography, because I feel like it is so interesting, and I'm going to give you a little how-to, and I'm going to give examples from my chart, Sophie's chart, and Elena's chart, sorry. And they gave me their consentment, of course, before going so far. So if you want to see what kind of places have different, let's say, connection to your birth chart. It is very simple. I'm going to show you how to pull that. So I use astro.com, so you can see it a little bit here, but it's astro.com. It's all free. So you go here on the menu, and it is under free horoscopes. And then you have to select a locational astrology. And the first one is Astro Click Travel. So, and then we will select a chart. So if you don't have it, you'll have to put your information, your birth chart information. So I'll just put mine here so you can have an idea. So this is where you're going to come up to. And those are the lines that are based in your birth chart, kind of put over the globe. So there's going to be different intersections, and different places are going to have different meanings for you, as, let's say, as opposed to another person. So let's say we all live in Montreal, but all three of us are going to experience the frequency of the city differently, because overlaying those energies, we're going to have different experiences based on our birth charts. So for example, let me share that with you. I'm going to zoom in. So the dot here is Montreal. So you can see that, I hope. Okay, I'm going to try to have like the best display possible. Bear with me. So I like to select here with harmonious aspects. So if you don't select that, you'll have like the main lines. And so, for example, as you can see, the closest line I have to Montreal for me is this one, which is Mercury ascendant. So later on, I'll give you a little cheat sheet, a little slide that I made for all the different planets. So basically, AC is referring to my ascendant. So it's like the energy that I will embody and how people are going to perceive me when I'm locating in that city, traveling or living. And of course, it's going to be stronger if you're living there. So Mercury, so I'm going to embody a lot of mercurial energy if I'm in Montreal or near that location. So that's very true for me. So Mercury is all about learning, communication, all the intellectual abilities, business. So this is what I do on a day-to-day basis, basically. And then you can also select with harmonious aspect and with disharmonious aspect. And you can see also I have another line, which is really close to Montreal, which is Neptune. The little triangle is trine ascendant. So this is a really good thing. So it means basically that for my spiritual development and for my intuition, Montreal is going to be a very good city for me to channel, to have, let's say, spiritual experiences. And yeah, so you get the drift here. So this is just an example for me here. I wanted to show you Montreal, and then I will unselect that, I believe, and I will show you what I have if I'm going a little bit more over to Dominican Republic. So was it this one? Yeah, okay. So you can see like the closest one for me near Dominican Republic is my moon trine AC. So that means if you have something with the moon that's connecting in a specific location, then it means that you're going to feel a heightened sensitivity, emotional resonance, a connection to the land, to the people, to the ancestor. And you're going to have probably like really interesting intuition activation. So your intuition is going to be highlighted, activated. It amplifies psychic gifts. Intuition also can bring back memories from past lives, the moon, and also your psychic gifts from past lives. So this is really interesting because yes, it has been the case for me. Every time I go there, I unveil new layers of like my past lifetimes in Atlantis, my past lifetimes in general as a woman, moon, also your connection to the divine feminine. So if you have the moon connecting somewhere, it's most likely that you will resonate a lot with the land, with the lineage there, and it's going to be really good to amplify your psychic experiences.
That's a good way to know like where you want to travel. Let's say if you want to activate like let's say your moon to follow that line, it's very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And I have another location I'm gonna try to show you if I can. So I went there in Afghanistan at some point, and I don't know, I can't remember if it's this one. Yes. So you can see here, this is Afghanistan, and I have the moon AC line who crosses two different locations that I've been at, so Kandahar and Kabul. And for me, it was definitely a starting point of this whole spiritual awakening when I went there. So the moon really triggered a lot of my psychic memories. And following that trip is where like everything started to reveal itself. Like I wanted to learn tarot, I wanted to learn astrology, I learned meditation. So it was, everything was following that really strong activation for me, where a moon AC line in Afghanistan. So of course there was like also the memories from the land, but for me it was special because I was there like with some friends, dancers, but they didn't have the same experience that I have because my moon AC line is crossing where we had.
Wow.
So I want to give another example. Sophie, if I can use you as an example.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me go to your chart. So I have them already in my favorites. So we're going to be looking at one of Sophie's favorite locations.
Can you guess?
Can you guess? Well, first we're going to look at Montreal because this is where you are. So Sophie, for Montreal, you have your Uranus MC. And don't worry if you don't understand what I'm talking about. I have a slide coming. So Uranus, interestingly enough, talks about like this is where you're going to live a lot of changes. Uranus is also being the black sheep, rebelling against authority. It's also about finding your own individualization process. So it's really like learning how to stand up for yourself and not follow the masses. Also, it could deal with like being in, like making it big on social media, which is what you did in Montreal. But also it means like you're going to experience lots of moves, lots of changes. So is that correct, Sophie? Can you comment on that?
Yeah, I think I moved 25 times, to be honest, when I was in Montreal.
Wow. Yeah. And from a really young age, you've been the black sheep in the family.
Yes.
Yes. She didn't want to eat meat. She was like very young. I remember we're like, oh my God. And then I followed later on, but like she was the initial black sheep in the family.
Yeah, I was already living in the 50s when I was like 8. I had an Elvis room. I was wearing all black. I was vegetarian. I was weird.
Yeah. I love that. And then let's go see your favorite location, which is somewhere
Right there.
over here.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there's no major lines, but let's click here because there's a line going straight on Memphis, Tennessee, one of Sophie's favorite locations in the world. And here we can see that we have this Mars trine MC line. So MC, if you have that crossing somewhere, MC deals with your career, your life mission, how your reputation, your status. And Mars will give you lots of drive, lots of energy to pursue your goals, your professional goals. It will give you a lot of ambition, a lot of drive. Also, there's a potentiality for conflicts. Let's just also mention everything because Mars can be very aggressive in its pursuit, but also it gives you lots of physical energy and lots of drive, lots of motivation. Does that make sense for you, Sophie?
You know, I felt recharged. I felt like I was at home, and not just at home, but I felt like I was grateful every step that I took, and like I felt like I was just home and recharging. That's the best way I can describe that. So Mars makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and because trine, the triangle there is a trine, so it's a soft aspect, positive and soft. So it's not like if you had a square there, it would be very disruptive, very hard on your nervous system. But here, it's more like the recharge aspect. And probably you came back from there like more motivated to reach your professional goals, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's switch to Elena, if you're okay with that, of course. Okay. So Elena, well, let's start on Montreal. So let's see what you have there. So if I go here, so okay, I'm gonna click disharmonious aspect for that. So Elena, your closest line, you have a disharmonious aspect to Montreal. You have
Okay.
you have Uranus square your ascendant on Montreal. So a bit similar than what Sophie had. Uranus means like lots of change, experiencing lots of changes, lots of, let's say, change of career moves, being the black sheep. So a little bit of like what Sophie was experiencing, but more, let's say, with more disruption, like in a bit harsh. So it's like the universe is always putting you, let's say, presenting you with a lot of tension, a lot of, let's say, tension to do those moves, to change. So it's like a lot of pressure to evolve very quickly. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And it's like, I remember when when I met the father of my kids, I was in a point of my life like, okay, do I go into a relationship or I travel? But instead of traveling, of course, I stay here in Montreal.
Well, you might not live all your life in Montreal, just throwing that here, because like this is not one of the easiest when you have a square, especially like this one is going really straight by Montreal. So you might move at some point. And of course, if you're looking at somewhere to go, if you see, let's say, a harsh aspect, or if you see Saturn or Pluto, this is going to be a tougher place for you to live. Well, if you're going for, let's say, intense experiences to grow, that might be a good place. But if you want like a smoother, let's say, retirement, or just like a nicer time, do not go for Saturn, Pluto. A square is going to be a little bit more harsh.
Not moving to New York City, though.
I'm
not moving to New York City.
No, because it's the same line. So now let's look at where. So I had in my notes. Okay, there's a location right here where you, and I think I have to. Okay, give me a little moment here, because okay. So okay, it's right here.
Like we're traveling today, eh?
We're traveling. Okay, so it's here. So you went there, Elena, so near Oceanside. Can you explain what you did there?
Well, I was there for my yoga training. So for me, it was yoga training, but it was awakening, lots of meditation, lots of healing, starting my process, starting my journey, being able to see what was I really wanted to do with my life in this moment. So this is what happened, but I'm curious to see what this line is.
So this line is Pluto MC.
Okay.
So MC is your career, your life mission. So it was very important for you to be activated there. And Pluto is all about like a huge death and rebirth, awakening experience, healing experience, healing the physical body, and also learning how to be a healer, because it connects with your MC, which is like your goal, your career, your life mission. So for you, it was like a huge initiation that you had to go through, and it started. I'm not surprised to see that it started your whole spiritual awakening, and the reason that you're here today
And
is because you went there.
And it's funny because like I went there by myself. No one gave me an advice to go there. I was looking, I had to leave. I wanted to do that training right away. I went to a site to see where I can go, like doesn't matter the country. And I just look at this place. I look at the person's energy, the teacher as well. And I felt like, okay, I need to be there. And the group that I met there, wow, beautiful people. Um, to be honest with you, I was very scared when I was flying there. I remember I was saying to my partner, I'm like, okay, when I arrive, I'm going to activate my location because if something happened to me, like you'll know where I am. But
Well,
what a
yeah,
journey.
you didn't know back then, but you were traveling to a Pluto line, so it's like always intense energies. It's a bit, let's say, similar but different than a nodal line. A nodal line will have really karmic experiences, meaning karmic relationships. Pluto is like a big bang, so like your guides were definitely guiding you there.
Beautiful.
And now let's look at another location that I wanted to share with you, with Elena. So, what is here? Okay. Just gonna uncheck that one because I want to look at like the lines without aspects are gonna be the most important. So as we can see here, the closest one to Dominican Republic for you is your Neptune MC line. So this one is more important than any aspect. And Neptune is, of course, getting downloads, connecting with the divine, meditating, being spiritually activated. And MC talks about your mission. It talks about what you're here to do. So it's also, let's say, giving you the activation necessary to be a spiritual guide, someone who guides people, someone who activates people. So you were being guided to you be activated personally, but also to help activate other people. Does that
Wow.
make sense?
Beautiful. It does make sense. Yeah.
And Neptune talks about, yes, spirituality, but also arts. So dance is also part of it. So it's also part of the experience of connecting with the divine and connecting with the divine feminine part of yourself, your divine goddess.
That's how I feel right there. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
I love that. So do you want to, let's say, reveal what we've been doing in the Dominican Republic?
Well, remember first of all, we had that activation in Mars when we had all the eclipses. That was an intense energy. What a healing that we did, all the community. It was not easy, but I felt like being able to do this with you guys, it makes such a difference. And we're traveling through a journey together. And then after we did, was it 3 weeks ago? A month ago, the abundance activation.
I'm the worst for the time. It was May 7th, so
Okay,
3 weeks
May
ago.
7. What day are we?
At the 29th.
Okay, well, let's say 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that energy as well in that activation was so powerful. So at that moment, I had a message from my guides that we need to be able to connect even more with our guides, even more with the people, our ancestors that are guiding us, that are protecting us, and being able to open even more the crown chakra and the location to open that energy to be able to see even more your guides. It's where we did the activation, me and you.
So without further ado, I'm gonna show to all of you what we were doing over there. So we were filming this very special activation, which is called Access Your Gifts from Atlantis activation. So Elena, as you said, you were guided to bring us back to our past lives there. And it was very important for the guys that you were on location. So we decided to film it to make sure that we had like the most powerful connection, the most beautiful image possible, so that you can immerse yourself with the frequencies of Atlantis. And we have like your clear voice coming through. And we're going to do a live event, all of us, the community, together on June 14 at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's a Friday. So let's hope we can gather as much people as possible so we can all together do this activation guided meditation by Elena. And I will be hosting the event. We're going to pull cards. We're going to see the messages also. And we're going to comment all of us together about our own experiences. So this is going to be super exciting and very powerful. So it is, let's say it was filmed around the need to connect, as you said, even more with our guides, but also bring back some memories from my past lives there. And by doing so, bringing back all of our gifts to this lifetime that are, let's say, relevant for what we're going through and what we were opening up, because we know, and with the Northern Lights, Sophie, you were getting in the messages that the energies are definitely shifting positively. So we're definitely opening up a new frequency, a new period of time, a new portal of energies. So I feel like, and we felt like those gifts from those past lives that were all connected all together, this community from Atlantis, are going to be very useful. So Sophie, we're getting something from the latest activation. Can you remind us the link with the latest activation in this one?
I will try to, but when I read the cards, yeah. I think from what I remember, and please let me know in the chat if you remember what I said the last time, because when I do the cards, I channel and sometimes I tend to forget. So I think it was something that connected this tribe watching this community with Atlantis, and that all together we were going to be able to step into power way more with Atlantis and remember who we are to shift to the best timeline.
I love that. I love what you said about regaining our power, remembering who we are, because it's also the messages I've been getting from my guides lately, like reclaiming my power, remembering who I am. And I feel like it has to do also with Jupiter and Gemini, because Gemini is all about also multi-dimensionality. And Jupiter there is bringing, let's say, wisdom to our multi-dimensionality. So we're relearning how to embrace all the different facets of ourselves, our parallel lives, our past lives. And we're trying to get all the fragments of everything that we are and trying to embody them in this lifetime here and now. So it makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Sophie, for that. Can I ask you questions for the cards, Sophie?
Sure.
What's the importance of this activation for this collective?
Okay. Let's switch cards, in fact. Let's see.
And it was on a lucky day.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. What was going on? I don't remember.
You said that it was a lucky day. What was it?
Okay, let me check. Mm-hmm. I'll check while Sophie pulling the cards.
So we have the card, it says order in the forest, and it says cleansing, releasing resentment, and making amends. So this is a restart in the karma. And let's take two more cards from tarot. We have water, so that's interesting because we have the card of the waves, the Two of Pentacles, and we have the Fool. So we're leaving behind with the water that is cleansing. We're leaving behind tons of things, and we are activating our new journey. So bringing back the memories, cleansing of what we don't want, and coming back with peace and coming back with healing of accepting who we were and bringing back only the positive.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense because I was editing the video today to make sure that we were ready for the event. And it's exactly what Elena was channeling. She was channeling a lot of what do we like discerning what are we leaving behind, what is useful for this lifetime, and what is not useful to feel lighter and to take a weight off our back. Elena, how did you feel about this activation? How do you feel what are, let's say, the messages that the guides wanting you to channel during the activation?
Well, for me, at that moment, I was able to see all the guides that are there protecting me. And that's what, to be able to connect with the Atlantis as well, that helped me a lot. I don't want to say so much because I like right now I'm remembering what was going on, and I was able to see you guys as well during this activation. It's clearly in my head, in my memories, connecting with water. I'm doing this because the water was there. Was able to see you guys walking together, be stronger together, be stronger with our guides as well. So everything was so clear.
Wow, that's beautiful. And Jake, I love that. The upwards spiral, returning to the same energies at a higher vibration, the Yuga cycle bringing us upwards. So definitely we are at the moment entering the age of Aquarius, and we are living a polarity era that was, let's say, happening while we were incarnated in Atlantis. So we are revisiting the same energies, but on a higher frequency, and we're trying to, let's say, raise our frequency as much as we can to be able to co-create and change also the destiny of our personal lives for the better,
Yeah.
and for the collective as well. So that's why in this moment it's so important to revisit what the lessons that we learned when we were in Atlantis, but also who we were, our psychic gifts, and to bring them back here, because it's going to be a similar frequency, but as you're saying, Jake, upward spiral. So I love that.
And I remember also during that activation to really connect with what really belongs to you as well. Yes, because sometimes where we think that energy is our energy, but it's actually not. So we're going to be working on blockages.
Wow, I love that. So, of course, if you do feel guided to join us, and we do hope you feel the call, because we would like to gather as much as we can to be able to share that beautiful energy and that beautiful activation with all of you. So we have a special saving coupon code, which is 15% off until June 7. So for a little over a week, we'll have this special. It's a low price, but we just want to make sure that it's as affordable as we can. And the code is Atlantis to be able to save 15%. And it's available on maisonjupiter.com. So join us over there. Register now if you do feel the call, if you do feel like you resonate with this, and you do feel like you want to bring back your psychic gifts, your connection with your guides. And it's going to be a fantastic event. That's going to be June 14th, 7 p.m. So we'll meet you there live, and we're going to be all doing the activation. So I listened to it, but I did not do it personally, because the first time I filmed it, and the second time I was more on the editing mode. So I can't wait to do and like to really fully go into meditative state with all of you and to connect, because I feel like when we're doing it with a group, it's that much more powerful than doing it individually. Awesome. So without further ado, I'm going to share my slides for the astrocartography. And thank you, everybody, for all your beautiful comments and reading them as we go.
Very excited.
Yeah, we are excited. Yeah. Thank you for that. You are doing a wonderful job guiding this community. Sophie and Elena are such great support. Yes, they are. And Soul too, of course. And talking about that, don't miss the Friday live, because you're going to be very excited with the little surprise that we have for all of you. Okay, so yes, I wanted to share the astrocartography. So you can, of course, screenshot this or take a photo if you're watching on your television, because I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun for all of you to look into different places in the world, different influences that you're going to feel, and it's going to be different for all of us depending on your birth chart. So you just need to enter your birth information with your time of birth, important. So you're gonna see, as you probably saw with the example that I gave, there's always either AC, DC, IC, MC, and another symbol for a planet. So I put all of them here, so you'll have a little reference guide here. So if you're looking for a place to influence you personally, you're going to be looking more at the AC. So the AC will influence how others perceive you and what type of energy you will be embodying. And that deals with your physical vessel, your aura, your energy. When you're looking at DC, and if you took the astrology course, you probably know already what I'm talking about, but it's just a little refresher for the other people. So DC is short for descendant. It rules your seventh house, so it influences your relationships and the life of your close ones. So let's say you're looking to meet your soulmate or your twin flame or whatever you want to call it. I would look for a location with DC and something that's beneficial as a planet. So Venus would be really good. Jupiter would be really good, something like that. And if you're looking more at the nodes, it's going to be probably more of a karmic partner. Not necessarily bad, but definitely a karmic partner. And yeah, so that's, yeah. So IC is the beginning of your fourth house. So that will influence more of your home and family life. So let's say you're looking for a place to live, or let's say to build a family or to have, let's say, properties. That's all connected with the IC. So that would be a really good place to look for. And of course, it's going to be combined with a planet that holds the energy that you wanna have for your house or your family or that project. And MC will influence more of your career, as we saw with Elena when you did your yoga training. So that was the start of your new career. So MC deals with your career, your life mission, your reputation, your status. So I'm not going to go through all of the planets, but you can screenshot this. It's just, we gave some example with Sophie and Elena. So the more beneficial, well, let's just say they all have like really good qualities, of course, but if you're looking for more like disruptive energy, you're going to be looking at Uranus. So warning sign Uranus, warning sign Saturn, definitely are going to be facing more challenges, tests, responsibilities. There could also be stability, which is the higher frequency of Saturn. So if it's a positive aspect of Saturn, you will be looking more at stability. Let's say there's a triangle, so that will be good. But Saturn will come with responsibilities. And another to look for, Pluto. Like Elena went through it because she was like, let's say, going on a trip, but I personally wouldn't live permanently on a Pluto location unless you're doing something plutonic in nature. Let's say you're investigator, you're a shaman, you're, let's say it would be good for a tarot reader as well. Anybody that works with plutonic type of careers would be good. But other than that, it's kind of a death and rebirth cycle. So you're going to be going through a lot of transformation, awakening. So it's good for a spiritual retreat, for a training, something specific. And Chiron, kind of the same thing as well. So I hope it helped you. I hope, yeah. Thank you, Lorianne. She's saying the show is multifaceted on so many levels, profoundly positive, beneficial, and having cliff notes for future references. Yes. Thank you, Lorianne. I hope you enjoyed it. And before we go, I'm just going to ask you both for, let's say, some words of guidance regarding travel and relocation. I'll start with you, Sophie, if you want to pull some cards, maybe to see what the cards have to say about the importance of let's say, opening up our horizons in the coming months.
Okay. Well, if you watched the show yesterday, the monthly, and if you haven't watched that, also watch it, because the topic that came up a lot was go out of your comfort zone. So I think that with this change that we talked about, and with the month of June, it's important to travel if you can. If it's not physically, at least travel in trying new culture, trying new food, new activities, going out of your comfort zone by other ways. And we have the card of abundance, and it kind of look at this part, kind of look the poster that you have for this activation. So I'm seeing a lot of similarities there with the water, and the gate. So I think that it could be also a travel back in time. It could also be astral travel. That kind of activation can absolutely be done without you physically traveling, and just take any opportunities of opening some doors if you want something to change in your life for the positive.
Oh, I love that message. Thank you so much, Sophie. I feel like it really takes everything, all the facets into account. Thank you, Sophie. And Elena, do you have a final words of wisdom around traveling, around the messages from your guides?
Well, absolutely, because from what you shared today, it makes totally sense. I just want to say, like, if you guys are not traveling, but just being able to see where you are located, what is activating you with what you share, Julie, it makes such a difference. And being able to see, just being able to know what's going on with your life, how come you're feeling that like that with that energy as well. So you're being able to balance everything. It makes so much sense. And that's a big travel as well. And just connect with, maybe if there's a country that you're interested, maybe start to read about this country. Maybe not this year you're going to go there, but you need to be prepared to go maybe next year or in two years. It makes such a difference to be able to be prepared, because sometimes, like, let's say, for example, when I went to my journey for my yoga retreat, I didn't know. But like, if we can be prepared, why not? I feel like it's a very good tool, and being able to connect even more with our chart.
Definitely. And thank you, Elena, for that. And yes, thank you, Tim, for reminding me. If you do enjoy this content, please give us a like. It really helps us into creating some more original content like this one for you guys. So it's kind of a free workshop that we had tonight. So please show us some love if you do enjoy this content, of course. And I want to show one last comment. Jody is saying, watching Sol on her Uluru travel show activated me. It was fantastic. So Sol has been traveling as well, and she has been sharing it. Oh, I'm not in the right slide deck. I'm just going to show you in 2 seconds. So she has been traveling as well to Uluru, and she has been sharing her experience there, really magical experience and encounters. So go and watch this if you haven't already. So it's available on the channel. It's called Uluru and the Pleiadian Connection. So it's a really good way to travel, let's say, with knowledge and information. And Sol always brings awesome knowledge and wisdom about the subjects she researches. So a really good one to look at. Thank you, everybody. And I hope to see you on Friday as we share this very special announcement for the community. And I wish you a beautiful rest of your week, sending you much, much love. Bye-bye, everybody.